that?
Yeah, well, you were going to come and live with Kevin and me when we were married, and now that we've split up, well, I can't see why you don't return the favour.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I certainly wouldn't knock it back if it was offered.
So there you are. You could go into business. Lizzie's guest house for homeless crims.
Oh, what a ripper idea. Now, why didn't I think of that myself? That's wonderful.
So now have you got something to live for?
Oh, my oath. I'm going to take that leech to court, and I don't care how much it costs, and I'm going to win.
Well...
Good on you, Lizzie!
Quiet. Birdsworth, Mrs. Morris is here to see you in your dormitory.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Powell. That's the very person I wanted to see. Don't you get it? You know the reason Mrs. M has called on me at this very moment? She's the one who can help me. It's a sign from Sid.
Oh, Lizzie, you look marvellous. Mrs. Davidson must have told you the good news.
She sure has. And I just don't know how to thank you, Mrs. M.
You don't have to. It's all part of the job. And I must say, a very pleasant aspect of it, too.
I guess so.
Well, I suppose it's a bit early yet for you to have had any thoughts about what you're going to do.
No, Mrs. M, I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Well, that's marvellous. What are your plans?
I'm going to move into Sid's house, fix it up as best I can for when Dor comes out. And Jude, too. And even Bea and any of the others if they want to.
That's wonderful, Lizzie, but it may not be quite that simple.
I know that. Nothing ever is. But it's going to happen. I've had a sign from Sid.
But Sid's son, Gordon, is it?
I know him. God, he'd suck a blood bank dry, that one. I had a letter from his solicitor this morning telling me he was going to take me to court if I didn't give up Sid's house.
Yes, I heard.
Yeah. Well, first I was going to give in. I didn't want to drag Sid's family through the court. I didn't think that'd be right. But I now know that Sid wanted me to have that house, so I'm going to fight it. And that's where you come into the plan.
Me? I don't understand.
Don't you see? You were sent here today to help me. I want you to go and find out how I can go about defending this case, what sort of lawyers I need and all that sort of stuff.
Lizzie, I don't think you realise the costs involved in a case like this. I mean, win or lose, it's going to take a lot of money. Now, why don't you let me go and see Gordon and see if I can get him to agree to some sort of compromise?
Compromise? Him?
Well, maybe he's not all that bad. Or at least let me go and talk to him.
All right, Mrs. M. You go and try and talk to him and then make arrangements for the court case.
But there may be no need for a court.
Mrs. M, I know his type. He's not gonna give an inch. And neither am I.
Hey, I like this one. Who put Vera Bennett's name down for the grovelling your way to success course?
I would have thought she already had a degree in that one,
Hey, Alison, I don't see your name down here.
Oh, I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I was a bit preoccupied while Judy was typing it.
Preoccupied? I thought you were going to wet yourself.
I bet the officers have a fit when they see this.
Yes, you're right, Paige. The officers are going to have a fit. Who's responsible for this rubbish? Look, it's not going to be difficult to find out, so you may as well speak up now. Okay, let's see. Typed on official letterhead stationery. Not handwritten, but typed. Now, who's the one person who has access to a typewriter here?
No, it wasn't me, Mrs. Powell. I didn't do it.
Really? Then who would you suggest? Who else had the opportunity?
Well, I don't know. All I know is I didn't do it.
Yes, I can see that. Guilt written all over your face. Let's go and see the governor. I think you can kiss goodbye to an idea of any early release.
Well, our stupid joke has backfired. And she didn't want to do it. We practically forced her into it.
Don't feel too sorry for her yet. When it comes to the crunch, don't kid yourself. She'll lag on us.
And apart from what's written on the page, there's also the case of stealing, misusing prison stationery, and forgery.
Forgery?
Yes, your name's forged at the bottom of the page.
But I didn't do it, Mrs. Davidson. And why should I do something like that and run the risk of being kept in here any longer?
Because you didn't think you'd be caught. That's why you're here in the first place. This is what happens when you allow prisoners to work administration areas.
Mrs. Powell, I made it a rule that at no time was Paige to be left alone whilst working in reception. Was that rule adhered to?
Yes, I suppose.
Then it appears to me that if she had typed the notice, someone would have seen her.
Well, she was the only...
Yes.
Nothing.
Alison, did you type it?
No, Mrs. Davidson.
Very well. Under the circumstances, as there is no proof available, I would not like to endanger your chances of being released on time. However, I must warn you to be very careful about abusing the trust we have placed in you. Any similar situation will not be treated so leniently.
Thank you, Mrs. Davidson.
Thank you for seeing me, Mr. Humphrey.
I won't ask you to sit down. This will only take a minute. I take it you've come about my solicitor's letter to Mrs. Birdsworth.
Yes, I have, as a matter of fact.
Well, I can't see any point in you and I having a discussion. I've made my position perfectly clear. And there's no reason to use you as an intermediary.
Well, surely there must be room for negotiation. Isn't it possible for you and Lizzie to come to some sort of amicable arrangement?
There's only one amicable arrangement as far as I'm concerned. And Mrs. Birdsworth is perfectly aware of what that is.
I'm afraid she doesn't agree with you. I spoke with her last night. She's going to fight the case.
And she's being stupid. Doesn't she realize what that can cost?
Yes, and she can afford it. I've never seen her so determined. But surely does it have to come to that?
That's her choice.
Lizzie didn't ask me to come and see you. I offered. Now, surely there must be some way to avoid the hurt and expense a court case will involve.
Oh, yes, there is some way, and that's for her to give up this stupid idea.
She said I'd be wasting my time. It appears she was right. Good morning.
So what are they going to do now?
Well, nothing as far as I can make out. Seeing that they couldn't prove I did it, it's all been left up in the air.
Well, I'm glad you didn't get into trouble, love.
Thanks, Lizzie.
Thank you for not lagging on us.
Yeah, I guess I was wrong. I'm sorry.
Well, maybe I'm starting to learn the rules.
Yeah, maybe you are.
Colleen Powell is going to be a real pain. Something is going to have to be done about her.
Yeah, but what?
Don't know yet, but don't worry. It'll come to me.
Oh, Mrs. M. No luck, eh?
I'm afraid not. You're right about Gordon. It was a waste of time.
I knew it would be. But don't worry, and thank you for trying.
Birdsworth, you've got a visitor.
Who is it?
Gordon Humphrey.
Speak of the devil.
You can say that again. Will you come with me, Mrs. M? I'm not afraid of the mongrel. I just don't want him to bamboozle me with all that legal stuff.
Of course.
If he tries to stampede you, love, just give us a yell. I'll fix the little rat.
Mrs. Morris, I thought we decided that I didn't need you as a go-between.
Lizzie asked me to be here.
I want her for a witness.
A witness? What for? This has been a legal meeting. I'd have sent my lawyer. I just wanted to have a little talk.
Then talk.
Mrs. Morris tells me you've decided to fight the case.
You're damn tootin' right I am.
Oh, that doesn't seem very sensible, does it? Don't you realize what's involved? All the worry, the strain, the muckraking in the courts. I mean, it could go on for years. You're not exactly a young woman anymore. And what's the point?
The point is that Sid wanted me to have that house, to look after it. The last time you had it, you put them tenants in and they practically wrecked it.
Don't you realize you haven't got a chance? I mean, you weren't even married.
And whose fault was that? You threatened to turn his grandchildren against him, so I called it off. You're a greedy, money-grubbing vulture.
That's great coming from you, isn't it? Isn't that the reason you picked him up in the first place?
I didn't pick him up, I loved him.
Loved him? Ha! At your age, don't make me laugh. He was a sick old man. You realize he wouldn't have long to live, so you decided to sink your claws in and get all that you could.
That's fair enough.
You never learned, do you?
Oh! Mr. Humphrey, either you get out of here now or I will not be responsible for what happens.
You better do as she says. Not that'll do you any good, because I'm going to fix you just like I said.
Well, if you think that I'm going to let the likes of you move into the house, you've got another think coming. Now, you've shown me your weak point, neither grandchildren. Well, I'll make sure they have something to remember him by, the true story.